This is EDG Junjia. He is currently rank 1 on the Korean solo queue ladder, and he is an absolute monster at Viego with a 60% win rate in over 300 games in Challenger ELO. If you want to understand how he's achieving this win rate in Korea as the rank 1 player, then the first thing I'll need you to pay attention to is the map right now. So I think very clearly you can see that the enemy top laner is in the lane and the enemy bot lane is only showing up to the lane now. This means that the enemy jungler Xin Zhao is starting on his red buff, and this means that he is pathing towards the top side, the same as Viego is. This is important because it tells us we could counter gank the top lane, and also because we're going to be fighting at that first crab top lane and we need to respect priority in our lanes unless we want to go for a 50-50 fight at the crab and be a 50% win rate player. In this game he's pathing towards his top lane, probably because the top lane matchup is really explosive, really snowbally, really volatile, and he wants to make an impact there. You can see here he's ditching the Raptors because Camille, if you look at the map, is pushing up very far in the lane, and if you look at the top left side of the screen, you can see that she is half health and she does not have flash in her summoner spells. So this is a very easy gank that Junjia is realizing, and he wants to get here before Xin Zhao has the chance to go and hover that Camille. So here you can see, finally taking a look, that this Camille is low and she is asking to get ganked. So here he comes with Xin Zhao trailing right behind him. He's not wasting his abilities to get into range. Here he is charging up the W and flashes straight onto the Camille to secure that kill up straight away before the Xin Zhao has a chance to answer and knock him up or outplay him with the Camille. And just like that, they pick up 2 kills and Aurelia didn't even have to die for it. So it looks like he's going to be walking towards the crab now. Looks like Camille with the teleport, getting a bit greedy with the wave, trying to get it in. Aurelia is teleporting in. Really nice cancel there with the W. Really nicely played, and I wonder, will this be a kill here? This should be a kill. It looks like it will be. Very nice. And he doesn't take the possess there because he's going to be risking dying under the tower then, because you're not invulnerable to towers when you do look for a possess. And here, looking at his gold, he has 1.3k gold, so this is why he's recalling straight away and not taking that top crab, because he wants to get his Sheen spike and he wants to get back onto the map with his advantage. You can see he has the Sheen advantage over that Xin Zhao, and here he is pathing back towards the top side, going to secure up that top crab, and his Raptors on the way, because we'll know that Xin Zhao's on his bottom side, because he did start on his bot side, and he wants to play with his lane that has priority. He does not want to fight with 0-2 Camille in this game now anymore. I can see he's looking for a gank on the bottom lane there if you look at the map. So Junjia is just farming up here. And he's looking for a gank mid lane here on the LeBlanc. This is a gank that you normally wouldn't want to look for because she can always just dash away like this. But the purpose for this gank was just to get priority so he can move in to take these Raptors while Xin Zhao's in the bot lane and be safe with his Lissandra. So instead of taking his own Krugs, he realized this opportunity to pick up the Raptors and have a counter jungle there. You can see a fight going on down on the bottom lane. Junjia trying to get into the action, trying to get more kills, but he realizes when it's over and when the enemy's safe. So he's just going to return to his own jungle to keep farming. And then we'll know the next time Xin Zhao is going to show up on the map is going to be on the top side or in middle lane, because there's no one in the bot lane to gank, and we just took his Raptors and his Krugs should be gone because he just ganked the bottom lane and he pathed towards the bot side after his death. Really nice solo kill there from the Lissandra, that's what you love to see. And you can see nothing going on the map, and he's just going to be farming. He's not forcing anything. You can see Xin Zhao there on the map, maybe trying to look for a gank mid lane. He's not getting baited by it because Lissandra can just walk away. And you can see, just from that gank showing up before the Xin Zhao could, he has completely changed this volatile matchup in the top lane to be favored heavily for the Aurelia now. So she should be winning the lane off of that really nice gank that Junjia made earlier on. And here you can see he is looking to hover her, potentially if Xin Zhao looks for a gank, and maybe they might even look for an invade here. But they are deciding against it because Aurelia has no mana, as you can see there, and they have no mid lane priority, so they're not taking any coin flips, no risks. You can see this is very calculated play. And here he is showing up for his Raptors. It's the only camp available right now. and then gonna be running into the crab again, because this is how his path has been dictated because of the early action in the top lane. So he's being very efficient with this clearing. Despite having skipped camps, it's not the usual linear clear. He adapted to the game, to the top lane, found the gank, and he's keeping up his efficiency in the clear. And again, it looks like he's looking for these raptors, looking for the counter jungle, looking for information. Where's Xin Zhao? Because he was at the wall there with the sweeper, and here they are respawned, taking them again with his mid lane. You can see the LeBlanc there was very, very low. I'm not sure if you caught that there. If you look, yeah, there she is. She's very low. This is a very good dive opportunity that Junjia should go for. But it looks like he's just going to go return to farming, to hover his bot lane. But that's a very, very missed opportunity there. If he'd kill LeBlanc there, she'd lose so much. She'd be losing this whole wave right here. And because he didn't gank her and dive her, his Lissandra ends up getting solo killed because he was a bit greedy there. So a bit of quite a misplay, honestly, there from Junjia, not looking for the dive. It would have provided way more value than these two camps right here. But he decides against it. Maybe he didn't see it, so he's just going to continue with the farming and playing around his top laner, who is very strong in this lane right now. So we can see the Xin Zhao on his top side again. He will look for a counter gank or an invade with his top laner. They have the strength to do this. He has Phage and Sheen versus the Xin Zhao's pickaxe and longsword. And he has the top lane priority, mid lane priority. Aurelia's winning lane, so this is all very calculated. Looking for the Xin Zhao here. Finds him. Sweeper, giving invisible vision. Gets that W straight away and just pops him, and now it's time for the dive. And really nicely executed there. So you can see, it's all very calculated play. It's not forcing anything. He's only taking plays that are in his favor. And because of those 2 kills there, they're going to secure up the Herald here. Just going to fast forward through there. Picks up the crab, and now he's back to his base. He does have Krugs and Raptors up, but there's no reason to keep farming them when you have your full Sunderer already. You want to get to these spikes as fast as you can. Make sure you're recalling for them, and then extending that lead in your games. So you can see fight going on here in the bottom lane, in the jungle. Junjia showing up. This is a 3v3, but his Nautilus is out of the fight. Maybe he can turn this one around. Lissandra is on the move. If he just gets one possess here, he can absolutely stomp this team fight. There he goes. Finds the Xin Zhao. He's onto the Rakan, onto the LeBlanc now because he dashed away. Ulti coming in through there. Absolutely one-shots the Rakan, and this Jinx is just going to get popped. And just like that, absolutely stomps the team fight. So this is what Viego is all about. If you can manage to get 2 kills early on, this champion is just insane for snowballing and winning games because his team fighting is so good. He gets 1 possession and then he just pops off in these fights. It's ridiculous. So picking up the mid wave here after the dragon, because he doesn't want to let any of that go to waste, and he wants to pick up this first tower gold as well. Instant pop. It has 2 plates. The Herald just one-shots from there. And he's funneling himself gold. He's in such a good position to carry this game. He's trying to limit test here a little bit, looking for the LeBlanc ulti in onto her, and just like that he pops her. Absolutely beautiful from Junjia there. Knows his limits exactly. If you're not 100% sure of your limits on Viego, those plays you should realistically avoid, because you don't want to be giving the enemy a chance to get back into the game, because he does have quite a big bounty on his head. You can see he does have a lot of gold there in his pocket, 2.5k, but he is returning to the jungle to farm. Maybe he's looking for a full item buy. Maybe it's going to be the Bork or the Sterex. Looks like it's going to be the Bork. So he didn't actually have to farm that Gromp there. He could have just recalled, Or he could have taken the wolves to get his Bork. Yeah, he didn't even have enough camps to actually farm up for the Bork. So, losing a bit of tempo there, delaying his recall. And it is fine. And now with the Bork components and the Sunderer, this Viego champion is just an absolute monster. And you can see he's invading with the mid lane prio, with the bot lane prio. He's trying to find some plays in the enemy jungle. He doesn't want to be AFK farming when he has a lead this big already in the game. So you can see he's just hovering that bottom lane. Enemy Rakan starting to walk into him. Maybe they'll be able to find a pick here. Nautilus with the hook. He's completely ignoring the Rakan. Knows he can just dash away. He's looking for the Jinx here. She flashes the W. Rakan just absolutely disappeared off of the screen. And now he is looking for the Jinx. And see, this is what makes Viego so insane. The gap closing, the possessions, especially when you pick up a champion like Rakan, LeBlanc. It just means the enemy can't do anything against you. It's really insane when you get fed on this champ. You can see trying to bait the LeBlanc there into a fight. And he's absolutely extending his lead this game. Has 1k gold, he's ready to go back and get his Bork instead of AFK farm. Always looking to recall for these spikes. Unless you're going to lose a lot. Finds the Xin Zhao in his jungle. Funny he's there. Trying to answer with some counter jungling while he's on the bot side. He does get spotted out there, the Xin Zhao. And he's definitely not having a very good game because of that top lane action. He misplayed really big by going in and trying to fight. He should have just taken the double crab, the Xin Zhao, and then maybe he would have had a chance. But you can see more action going on here. Viego Junjia coming in straight away, looking for these fights. If he just gets one possession, he can absolutely pop off. Flashes over the wall to ulti onto the Rakan, but he does dash away. Flash was not necessary there, I don't think, but he does get the possession here. Maybe he'll look for the dive. Finds the LeBlanc. Will he be able to get a quadra kill here? Very risky play from Junjia. Almost gets out though. But it looks like they will trade 1 for 4. Or 2 for 4. So all in all, not the worst, but he did give up a 650 gold bounty. But at this stage, he's just toying with his food. His team has a 10k gold lead. And they're just trying their best to end the game. Looking for these towers. Looking for these dragons. For the Herald. They're just trying to get the push on these towers to go finish this game fast. You can see Junjia just having a bit of fun with the limit testing to win the 4-man dive. So we'll pick up the dragon here. Looks like they're trying to find some action again. You can see Jinx on the map there. Trying to escape the Nautilus. She does get away instead of running into the enemy jungle. Trying to force something. There's nothing to be fighting over for there in the bot jungle. So he's just looking for the Herald here. Lissandra caught in a fight. He ults over the wall to gap close, trying to get onto his targets. Does connect on the LeBlanc though, but she is out. Trying to find the Xin Zhao here. LeBlanc, they're juking him around. He doesn't know which way to go. On one hand, LeBlanc just dashes and dashes. And then on the other hand, the Xin Zhao is not in range. Does get a possession here though. This is a bit of a risky situation. All he has for backup is the Nautilus. Will he be able to find this 2 versus 4 with the Nautilus though? Absolutely popping that Jinx nearly there. Does find the Q. Will he take the possession? No, he thinks he can just fight this 1v3 without any possessions. He does look for the Jinx there, but it's a little bit too late. Camille with her Cho'Gath ulti comes through and does pop him. Does give over the 300 gold bounty. But it's okay because these guys are 10k gold ahead. You can see he's on to 3 items now while Xin Zhao only has 1. You've got to realize when you can snowball games this hard. You pick up 2 kills in the early game, you make some really nice calculated plays like that top dive and top invade. And then you just completely start taking over the game. Finds the Xin Zhao here. You can see he's not looking to farm his own camps. He just wants to get into the enemy jungle, apply pressure with his teammates. He wants to take enemy camps. If they don't get any gold and he does, they're never gonna get items. It doesn't make sense to take your Gromp if it means the enemy jungle can take his Krugs. Take his Krugs and then he's left with nothing. That's how you build your lead. You can see caught in a bit of a bad spot here. Nautilus does get picked off. I don't think they'll look for the dive here. It's a little bit risky to go 3v3 under their tower. But yeah, as I was saying, you want to be extending your lead once you've figured out that you've got an advantage. And extending your lead doesn't mean going into the enemy jungle non-stop. You can see this whole game, Junjia has only been going in when his team is around, when they're pressuring the lanes, when he finds a good counter jungling opportunity. He's not taking any big flips. You know, most people, you know, they'll get a 3-0, 4-0 early start, and then they completely throw it away and throw the game because they start invading and their mid laner stuck at their tower, their bot lane stuck at their tower. The enemy rotates, they feed up bounties, and they just throw the games. It's one of the most common mistakes for junglers who do manage to get a lead and then end up throwing the game with their lead. You can see very calculated play, and you see he's not farming his camps when there's action going on in the mid lane. When everyone's gathered here, grouped as 5, oh no, Irelia caught out there. This is not going to be a good fight, most likely. Realizes it straight away and ults away. He is kind of looking for a flank angle in the backline, because if he gets a possession, he can turn this around completely. If he gets knocked up by the Xin Zhao now, he's just going to get stumped by that Camille. Yep, 2v5 when everyone's dead. It's a very risky game to play. So this is, again, one of the most common ways to throw a game that junglers have problems with. In the mid and late games, they just start taking bad fights. They start taking 1v2s, they start taking 2v4s, and they're half health, you know, with no ulti. You've got to be able to have some patience. You can see farming because no one on his team is applying any pressure other than the Irelia, but she is backing off and playing safe because the enemy is sieging this mid lane here with their Baron that they just picked up from the one team fight. So you can see, instead of farming his camps, he's here backing up his team in case something breaks out. You always want to be around your teammates when it looks like a fight may happen. So when everyone's grouping up 5 mid and you're farming your own jungle, you know, you're asking to lose if a fight breaks out, even if you're fed. Especially if you're the only fed player on your team, because you're the one who has to carry these fights. And if you can carry these fights, then you'll be able to get those towers and get up into that nexus. You can see those farmers jungle while everyone's safe. 700 gold. It's probably going to be the stopwatch here. He realizes that it's going to be very difficult to get another item here. So he does go for the stopwatch here to look for a good team fight. So they can hopefully win the game off of it. Irelia here getting engaged on by the Camille. Everyone jumping on her. Junjia is coming in, but this is looking like a bad situation. 1 versus 3. He is looking to get out of here, but he's ulting onto the Camille for some reason there with Nautilus as his only backup. So really big misplay. Again, one of the biggest problems with junglers trying to extend their lead. They think they can 1 versus 5. And that is just not the case. Like, usually no matter how fed you are, you need to play with your teammates and still take good fights. So big misplay there from Junjia, with a 10k gold lead, which has now closed down to 5k gold lead. It's not the worst thing, but in closer games, this completely loses the game sometimes. You can see everyone grouping up around mid lane again. LeBlanc dashing in, he's kind of trying to look for the return on her there from the backline. Flashes straight away, trying to ulti onto her because he wants her W to completely take over this fight. So he's trying his best here to deal with whoever's on his face. Does find the Rakan. Just leaving that Xin out to his teammates. Does come back to pick that one up. And pretty decent fight there. These fights are getting close because they've been throwing. You can see this time it was a 2 for 3. If they keep making mistakes, it's going to be a 3 for 3 next time. And they might get outscaled. Finds that stun on the LeBlanc, really nice angle, and this Jinx is just going to get popped with that. And you can see the Viego possessions, the mobility, the damage, it's absolutely insane. It's a really good champion for taking over these fights, and you can see 12, 4, 11, he is completely taking over this game. And with all these kills, they will be able to secure up this inhibitor, and maybe they can even look for a Nexus tower before backing off. The enemies are respawning soon. Xin Zhao is up. They are finding a fight here. Enemy team is not patient. Looks like they will end the game here. Yeah, very nice. So you can see it's all calculated. And even rank 1 players make mistakes all the time, as you could have seen from this game. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video and did learn a lot from here. Mainly I want you to learn that you shouldn't be taking coin flips, and to play calculated and understand what you are doing in your games. Play with intention.